42nd and 2nd. This is the Pix 11 News at 6.
I have lost confidence in his reliability and his accuracy as a detective.
First and all new at 6, nearly 100 convictions tossed out after a former NYPD detective allegedly lied about drug arrests, sending innocent people to jail. Thanks for joining us for the news at 6. I'm Corey Chambers.
And I'm Tamsin Fidel. Well, in 2019, former Detective Joseph Franco was charged with perjury. Prosecutors said they had evidence that Franco framed numerous people for selling drugs, and as a result, those people were sent to jail.
After several investigations today, a Brooklyn DA announced the convictions that Franco helped secure will be thrown out. Pix 7's Anna Harry spoke with the DA today and joins us outside criminal court with more. Ayana.
Tamsin and Corey, this former detective is accused of lying in case after case after case. Prosecutors still don't know how many innocent men and women may have gone to prison because of those lies. In a first step towards justice, today, the Brooklyn DA had 90 convictions tossed out. That has never happened before.
It's the largest number of convictions that have ever been vacated in Brooklyn's history.
90 drug convictions dismissed, wiped from the records of dozens of New Yorkers after the undercover officer who helped take them down.
He's accused of framing innocent people in the course of his work.
Brooklyn DA Eric Gonzalez asked the courts to vacate and dismiss 90 drug convictions from 2004 to 2011. That's when Joseph Franco worked in the borough as an undercover detective.
Involved in the narcotic enforcement team units, which was known as SNU.
Franco made hundreds of drug busts during a 20-year career that included undercover work in the Bronx, Manhattan, and in Brooklyn. But in 2019, the Manhattan DA charged Franco with perjury after uncovering a disturbing pattern.
Lying about where drugs were coming from, planting drugs on people, claiming that he observed things that happened that didn't actually happen.
After his indictment, Franco was fired from the NYPD. DA Gonzalez opened an investigation into Franco's undercover work in Brooklyn and found
He is no longer a trusted detective in my mind.
the 90 convictions thrown out today were largely for drug possession and drug sales.
The Brooklyn Defender Services has about 10 people whose convictions are being overturned today. We represented a person who missed the birth of his child because he was framed by Detective Franco and was serving time in prison. We represent somebody who served a significant amount of time in solitary confinement.
Attorney Cary London is now working with several men who pleaded guilty after they were arrested by Detective Franco.
These were Black and Hispanic men in the early 2000s, their word against a New York City police officer. And they were told that their word was not going to hold weight.
In a statement to Pix 11, Franco's attorney called the DA's decision to dismiss 90 convictions premature, saying his client, a 20-year decorated former detective with the NYPD, maintains his innocence and will mount an aggressive defense.
So this is a very good example of how many cases a single detective and an undercover officer will touch. And I think that there's a lot more Detective Francos out there.
After former Detective Franco worked in Brooklyn, he was then assigned to work in the Bronx. Prosecutors there are now looking over some of his past investigations. And Tamsin and Corey, I want to make this all clear. This all came to light after Detective Franco testified on the witness stand to seeing certain drug buys that surveillance video later showed never happened. Reporting live from downtown Brooklyn this evening, Ayana Harry, Pix 11 News.
Ayana, thank you so much.